240 is solidifying.
A major inquiry has been promised to find out why so many buildings collapsed in Christchurch, a city that was supposed to be quake-proof. The finance ministers warned the earthquake's likely to wipe out any growth in New Zealand's already struggling economy. As if things weren't bad enough, Christchurch is still experiencing violent aftershocks, opening cracks in the ground, threatening to cause landslides and rattling residents' already frayed nerves. Veronica Pedrosa, AlJazeera.
A Danish boat carrying a family of 5 and 2 crew members has been seized by pirates in the Indian Ocean. The boat is reportedly heading to Somalia. The family includes 3 children between the ages of 12 and 16. India has sentenced 11 men to death for an arson attack on a train that led to massive religious riots. Another 20 people have been jailed for life. 59 passengers, most of them Hindu, died in the 2002 fire in Gujarat state. Riots erupted when politicians blamed Muslims, leaving more than 1,000 dead. All suspects are Muslim, and some relatives say they were set up for political reasons. Now, the latest population census in India is trying to put an accurate figure on the massive number of homeless people in the country. But as Pranasuri reports, critics say the survey has no chance of recording the real number of street people.
This is how India is trying to identify its homeless. Late into the night, government employees quiz this girl about what she does, who's in her family, and which God she believes in. Once they tick all the boxes, the information will then be used to assess her most pressing needs. It's an ambitious task, and it's happening as the country's census comes to a close. We've kept the homeless on the last day as we don't want to replicate data. They frequently move, so we wanted an accurate figure. Hari's lived his entire life on the streets of New Delhi and sells balloons for a living. He's been asked these questions many times in the past. But has life changed for him?
They've come here before, but what's the point? I still can't send my kids to school or get a decent job.
Nobody really knows how many homeless there are in India. Figures are sketchy and unreliable. And with no identification papers, children can't go to schools and families can't claim welfare benefits. The point of this exercise is to include every homeless person in this country, and government officials are conducting simultaneous exercises all across India. And the time that they have to complete this is literally 2 days. So, not everyone's been counted. Across the city in a different area, this activist says officials have not counted large numbers of people.
This is a total mockery of a statutory provision. Census gives you the real figures, and we treat census data as sacrosanct. That what realities emerge, we take it. We have learned from census data as such. People will be deprived of their basic rights, basic entitlements.
As the rest of India races ahead on the road to modernity, there's a real danger the flaws in this exercise may leave behind some of its most vulnerable. Predna Suri, AlJazeera, New Delhi.
Now, an event designed to promote the safe use of bicycle in Brazil has gone badly wrong. This video captured the moment a motorist plowed his car through the crowd of cyclists. No one was killed, but at least 40 were injured. The driver told police he was afraid for his life after cyclists began pounding on the roof of his car. An investigator called that plane fanciful. You're watching Al Jazeera. These are the stories making headlines. Gaddafi forces are reportedly massing in the west of Libya. There are fears pro-government troops are preparing to retake the city of Nalut, about 60 kilometers from the Tunisian border. Forces loyal to Gaddafi also launched overnight attacks but failed to retake anti-government strongholds. Air Force jets have bombed a rebel-held ammunition depot in the city of Ajabia, east of Tripoli. The cities of Zawiya and Benghazi were also attacked. Meanwhile, the Libyan leader has laughed off calls for him to quit, saying he'll never leave his homeland. He also claims he is loved by the Libyan people. In a television interview with international media, Muammar Gaddafi repeated his claim that Al-Qaeda is to blame for the unrest sweeping his country. Well, as the fighting goes on inside Libya, governments are continuing to evacuate their people from the country. There were tears of relief from this Pakistani man as he arrived home at Lahore airport. He was among 170 evacuated on a specially chartered flight. In New Delhi, another 266 Indians have arrived home on a special Air India flight. Around 18,000 Indians were working in Libya before the unrest. Nigerians evacuated from Libya, meanwhile, are accusing the Gaddafi regime of atrocities against them. Nearly 1,000 have been flown home in the past 2 days, while another 1,000 are awaiting rescue.
I have so many friends in Libya. They told me that they cannot speak because Gaddafi has killed their cousins and uncles. He destroyed them all.
I thank God because I'm free today. And I'm not going back to any Arab world. I will never travel to any Arab world again.
There's been more violence in Yemen. One person has reportedly been killed in fighting in the town of Laji in the south of the country. In the meantime, opposition groups have gathered for more anti-government protests in the capital, Sana'a. President Ali Abdullah Saleh said on Monday he plans to announce a new national unity government. India has sentenced 11 men to death for an arson attack on a train that led to massive religious riots. Another 20 people have been jailed for life. 59 passengers, most of them Hindu, died in the 2002 fire in Gujarat state. New Zealand has marked a week since an earthquake hit the city of Christchurch. The country observed 2 minutes of silence to mark the occasion. More than 150 people were killed in the quake. Faces of China is next.
The most populated country on Earth, the world's fastest growing economy, a land undergoing profound change. AlJazeera presents Faces of China, a series of films from Chinese filmmakers working independently, telling personal stories in their own way. This is an insider's look at China. In this episode, a young man embarks on a personal journey of discovery, traveling with his father to try to understand why his parents divorced. Director Gan Chao examines the social challenges faced by a modern Chinese family.
你十几岁的时候，小的时候我跟你说过这些问题吗？我没跟你说过。
就是啊，我一直觉得很良好，只知道我工作之后这些事情全都报不出来。你说我怎么承受这些东西啊？
那你我用心良苦，那你又知道吗？我还不是为了你好好成长啊。
那你跟我说过这些吗？你又没说过，我怎么知道呢？
为什么要影响到你呢？
你要我去怎么理解？